Hi, beautiful. Hi, beautiful. Come here. Come here. Let me have your lamb chop. Yeah. Yeah. Sister Jackie's gonna take it. Yes. You want it? All right, here you go. You can have it. All right. Good morning. My name is Barbie from Jeannie's Designs, and I'm getting ready to film a Shambhala pattern, and it's called the Nathalie. It is probably a medium-sized backpack. It's more of a purse than a backpack, I think, but it is absolutely adorable. Let me go over my pattern pieces, and then I'll get one that I still have. So for my flap, I'm using mostly black today. For the flap, I'm going to use a black vinyl for the inside of the flap, and this is going to be the outside of the flap, I believe. I may change my mind. And then I will be putting a piece of either Peltex or Decaville Heavy inside of that, just to give it some stability. And then the lining pieces are going to be a gray waterproof canvas. This is from Fabric Wholesale Direct. It's that OtterTex, which is very sturdy, so there will be no interfacing on the inside. So that's the lining. And then for the outside, front and back, it's going to be this. This is a outdoor fabric, and it's pretty sturdy, so I won't be putting any lining on that or interfacing on that either, because I am going to be using foam, so it doesn't really need anything additional. And then I have a gray zipper pocket, and then for the side gussets on the outside, I'm using the black vinyl. There's 2 side gussets and a bottom piece. And then same for the lining, 2 side gussets and a lining piece. Then there's the handle. So it has backpack straps, which I'm going to be doing out of webbing. And then this is going to be the handle. And then there is a support piece in the back to cover up where you have the, attached the, I don't know the straps. Hello. So that's what this is, and that's just the black vinyl, no interfacing. And then I have some side connectors out of black vinyl. This is for my zipper facing or my zipper overlay for the inside. And I forget what this is for. I forget. And then there's going to be a tassel on the front, so I'm going to do that out of the black as well. And then I have all my foam pieces cut out. I always cut my foam a little bit larger so that I can base those on and trim them up. And then for the zipper on the inside, I'm just using a white with gunmetal hardware, because I'm using gunmetal zipper teeth, because I'm using gunmetal hardware today. So I have 2 tags to put on. I have 2 gunmetal 1-inch swivel clasps. I have 4 square rings 1-inch. I have 2 adjustable sliders gunmetal 1-inch. And then I have just a O-ring for, I believe this is used for the tassel. I can't remember for sure, but I believe so. So I'm going to do that today. This bag comes together very, very quickly. It's really a cute bag. Let me go grab some of the examples I have. I think I just have 1 or 2, but I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here's one example I have. This is just an aquamarine vinyl, and then this, it's called Jazz, I believe. I got that from Your Vinyl Source. And there's the tassel, very cute. So there's the side, and the back with the backstrap handles. This is that piece that overlays so you don't see any of the raw edges. And then it closes with a magnetic snap, and then it has 2 magnetic snaps on the side so that you can expand it if you'd like to. And then it just has 1 zipper pocket, and there's an overlay. The zipper pocket is actually a pretty good size. But the whole bag is pretty good size, really. And if you don't want it big, you just snap those side connectors and close it up. But the foam gives it a nice feel. It doesn't feel harsh at all. And here's one more I still have. This is a black and white. I'm not black and white, black and red. So there you have that. These are both vinyls. And then I used just some red vinyl for the interior. Red waterproof canvas for the interior. So they come together very easily.
Did you try it?
No. Sorry. All right, and then I just thought I'd give you a little update on my little puppy, Kendall. She's really hanging in there. Her vet was kind enough to refill her pain medicine for, I think we have 45 days worth now. So, she seems for the most part the same. There are moments when she's playful, bringing you her toy, her lamb chop, so you can play with her with it. And then there are other times when she can barely get up. So, it's a tough call. We know she's full of cancer, but I'm just not, we're not ready to put her down. Not when she's really doing very well. So we'll wait and see. Take it day by day. That's all you can do. And I appreciate all the kind comments and the hugs and the best wishes. I know a lot of people are dog lovers, and I know I'm not the only one that's gone through this before with having to put dogs down. And so I appreciate it. I truly do. Both my husband and I do. So I'll keep you updated. But thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and feel free to comment. So let's get started on the Shambhala Nathalie bag. Small backpack, medium backpack. All right, so I've changed the camera angle. Actually, we changed the whole room around. So you'll have to tell me if this is good or not. I think it's pretty good, but, oh, I didn't turn this one light on. Just 1 second. I think that'll help. Maybe. Huh? I don't know. All right, so this is what we're going to start with is the front. Let me show you the pattern. Actually, I'm going to show you on here. This piece right here is this piece that goes over the flap with the O-ring, the large O-ring. So it's just a 2-inch piece that I've divided in half. You're not going to see the back, so there will be raw edges on the back. And you have to mark your front flat piece centers. And I am, some of these others that I've made, I've done raw edge, but I'm not going to do raw edge on this one. So I marked the center, and I left it. She gives you options to do either raw edge or turn it, and I'm going to turn it. I just think it's going to look better if I turn it. So I'm going to go ahead and, let me see here. I'm kind of getting used to my spot here. Yeah, she has you go ahead and put it on first. So I'm going to get me some double-sided tape. I don't know if you've not done any Shambhala patterns, you really should. They are so cute. And really, the directions are very good. All right, so I'm going to get this on first. So you can see I've marked my flap. And you don't sew it until you get it on there. Otherwise, you're going to have double seams. And I personally do not like that. All right, let's see. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. See if we can get this on here nice and straight. Looks pretty good. And then we'll put our O-ring on and fold that up. And she gives you the measurements where that should end. Does it have to be exact? No. I am going to go up just a little more. Okay. Now I'm going to turn that O-ring because I've got the piece where it shows that it was connected on the bottom. Okay. I am using Rainbow Tech 70 thread today. I just think it's going to give this a pop of color. And so we're going to just sew this in place. I was going to do a 5, but I think I'll just stay at a 4. And top stitch it, 1/8 inch, all the way down. And turn. And I'm going to protect my hardware here. Okay. So there you have your, it's just really a decorative piece, and then the tassel obviously is connected here. So that's that. That is so cute. I really like that. All right, so the other thing I did on my interior flap, I did go ahead and put my magnetic snap. I'm using the rivet magnetic snaps. And so I don't want the rivet coming out this side, so I did go ahead and put it on and have that on the inside. That'll be fine. So now we're just going to connect these two pieces and sew them at, I'll have to look and see. I did put also a piece of Decaville Heavy in here out of the seam allowance. That'll give that flap some good stability there. And when you're sewing this, just flip your little O-ring up and out of the way. And I did a terrible job of cutting this out, as you can see. Not a big deal. I don't know about you guys, but I did some draperies for someone in the last week, and I had to use pins, and it was like, oh my gosh. I hate using pins, straight pins, you know, to pin things together because I can't tell you how many times I pricked myself. It was terrible. All right, my husband just got home, so let me go see what's going on with him, because I didn't shut the door. So what we're gonna do is just do so all the way around that, leaving the top open, and I'm just gonna use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then we'll turn that. I probably will clip some of these curves just so I can get a good turn. So I'll be right back. All right, so this is the one-piece strap connector that I just sewed together. It's just a 2-inch piece divided in half, and I put double-sided tape down the middle. You're not going to see the back end of this. So that's what I did. And then on this is the zipper facing for the inside. I just put that on there about, I think I did 1 3/4 inches down. I don't know what she calls for in the pattern, but that looks good to me. And so now I'm just going to sew around that on the outer edge. I am going to pull my stitches to the back since I'm using a highly contrasting thread. And I tried to mark all my centers already. Let's see if I actually did. I'm gonna pull that to the back. I didn't like my bobbin tension, so I'm gonna have to mess with that Okay, just like we do all the time, hold on to those threads so you know which one you gotta pull. And tie those off. Perfect. Oh goodness, leave them long enough so it's easy to tie. I left them long enough, but just a little. There we go. It's funny how just moving your sewing room around just discombobulates you like crazy. It's like, where did I put that? I'm trying to be real organized. All right, I'm gonna cut that out. And just like always, just be careful not to cut your zipper facing. I have to brag on my husband a little bit. I don't think he'll ever watch this. He watches them, but he doesn't really listen. So I'm going to say it. He is always thinking of how to make it better for me in here. I mean, he is just a gem. Does he have his faults? Oh yeah, sure. Everybody does. But I'd say he is the most supportive husband and partner when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like we spent all evening kind of arranging this so that I wouldn't have to worry about doing it this morning. And now he's outside working on the yard. I love that, man. All right, so there we have that. And I haven't done my zipper. I'm not ready to do my zipper, but I just wanted to get that all ready. That is going to be so cute. All right, so now we are going to sew this together and not sew the top at just a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then we will turn it. And go slow around your curves here. You probably will have to clip these curves. Make sure your O-ring is out of the way. I've never actually turned this flap. I've always done raw edge. So we'll see how it goes. And if I like how it looks when we turn it. I don't know. We'll see. All right, I am going to just trim that a little, the excess. Yeah, see, I thought about leaving this raw edge, but this fabric, this black and white fabric, frays. I was afraid of that. That's all right. I think it's better to not have raw edge anyway. Okay. All right, so this little point down here, I'm just going to barely clip, and I'm going to barely clip around my little curves here, just ever so slightly. I don't know if this really will help at all or not. All right, let's turn it and see what we got. That Decaville Heavy makes it a little more challenging to turn. It's all right, though. That might be okay. Let's see. This vinyl I'm using is from My Punk Embroidery, and it is very soft. So that's another reason why I felt it pretty important to put some Decaville Heavy in there. Oh my, that came out really good. Look at that. Excellent. So now we're just going to top stitch. And since I'm using both of these fabrics, I can't iron it. But if you used something that you can iron, feel free. Ah. There's nothing better than a classic black and white bag with just a pop of color on it with the rainbow thread. Very cute. Okay, now we'll be able to close that top off. Okay, I just don't want them any puckering there. Looks like it's puckering just to here. Use as many clips as you need. There we go. That's better. Let me put another one down here. Okay. All right, so that's what you should have. Man, those stitches, that's awful. I may have to go over that again. That didn't stitch very well. Either that or I'll just put some, I think I'll put some rivets there. Keep that in place. Yeah, my bobbin, let me just test that real quick. My bobbin tension is bad. Let me tighten that up just a hair. Yeah, that's better. Okay. All right, so let's top stitch that. And that's just at 1/8 of an inch. Okay, I'm gonna check my bobbin here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's better. Okay. That bobbin, sometimes you have to be, watch your bobbin tension. It's not as critical if you're using the same color thread, but since I'm using a highly contrasting thread, you really got to pay attention to that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that up. That's a lot better. That was weird. I don't know if you can see it, but it's coming up here because the bobbin was way too loose. So I'm gonna do this now and just put a couple rivets right there. Let me see. I'll just mark them. Yeah, that'll do it right there. All right, so I'm going to do that off camera. I do have some gunmetal rivets, and I'll go put those in place and see if that helps me. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll be right back. Okay, I finished the flap. That really helped, putting just the 2 rivets there. That made a big difference. And they're back here. It's not a big deal. So that when you, there's your flap. When you flip it up, you're gonna see them. That's okay. I'm good with that. All right, so now I'm gonna get my gusset ready, and I'm gonna baste my foam on my gusset. And I do my basting stitch of foam like this at a stitch length of a 6. So I'm just going to speed that up. And then I'm going to connect both side pieces to my base piece. And then I will top stitch that seam open. So I'm going to speed this up. All right, so what I've done is I added the foam to both my front and back panels, and then I inserted my magnetic snap on the front panel that matches up with the flap. So I've got both those ready. I did also sew together my outside gusset, and I have marked my and snipped my holes for my rivets for the sides. She gives great directions for that, but because this is kind of a it's not a real heavy vinyl, I'm using a piece of Decaville Light on the back. So when you put these on, just make sure that you're matching a complete rivet on each side. In other words, a female and a male. And don't ask me why I emphasize that. I've done it. I've put 2 females on one side, and it was a very annoying. Very. Because you have to, it's a quite a feat to fix that. So there's the male and there's the female. So, I mean, the directions for where these go are pretty explicit. Now, it doesn't matter if the female and male are on the same side on both sides. Not really, but, you know, I like symmetrical, so I usually do it. I'm kind of weird that way. And the nice thing about these are out of your seam allowance, so you shouldn't have any problem catching these when you're sewing the bag up. All right, so there you have it. We have our magnetic snaps on either side. Can you see that? There you go. All right, so now, oh my gosh, we are ready to connect the flap to the back piece. Let me get the back piece here. And she tells you how far down to put it. Okay. So let me just make sure. Of course, I don't have my centers marked. Let me mark this center too. All right. So let's see. It feels like it's way down there, but I'm going to use a air erasing pen to mark this. Yeah. And then I'm going to get some double-sided tape after I clean these threads up just a little. So I'm going to put a piece of double-sided tape here. And then I'm going to affix that to the back panel on that line with both right sides up. And I gotta mark my center on this line so I know where it is. Let me see. No, I didn't mark the center down there. I'm sorry, I'm mumbling. I didn't mark the center on my bottom. So let me... All I'm doing is just making a little mark here, so I know where the center of that line that's down there is. And then, you know, even though you've marked centers and everything, just make sure you have the same amount on each side. And it looks like I'm over just an ever so slightly. Yeah, so I have about the same amount on each side. So that's what I was checking there. These are all going to be hidden, but I'm still going to clip. All right. So now, what does she have you do? Oh, and just top stitch that in place. We're going to be covering this, all these raw edges up, so don't worry about that. And I just did an 1/8 inch top stitch there, just to keep it in place. All right, so there you have it. It's gonna be so cute. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me say that, but I say that about every bag. You know, sometimes it's just amazing to me that these bags come together so well. All right, so now we are going to She has you making the handles and the straps. I think I'm gonna do that. No, I have to do that because they are attached here. All right, so let me go get my webbing, and I have my handle. Let me find it here. Here's my handle. So I'm just gonna mark down the center there. So this is a 4-inch piece, so the center is 2 inches. And I am going to put some double-sided tape on either side there. And then I am using vinyl for this handle, but I'm going to use webbing for the actual straps, the backpack straps. At least that's what I'm still thinking. 1-inch webbing. Okay, so for this handle, you're going to take that off and you're going to fold it just shy of that center line that you just marked. Let me move this in just a little here so you can see what I'm doing. Take that other one off. And again, just shy, you want to leave about, oh gosh, a 1/16 inch there in the middle so that when you fold this together, there's no bulging. Okay, and then we're going to top stitch, so check your bobbin on each side. The ends will be hidden under that back piece. So let's turn this down just a bit. Always stitch your open side, long side first. I'm sure you guys know that. Okay, I'm just going to straighten that up just a little. Not that it's necessary. Okay. All right, so there you have your handle. Checking my bobbin tension again there. I didn't like it. All right, so now what's next? Where's my... Okay, so on this, and I'm just going to put a little piece of tape on each end of this, just to hold it where I put it. Just about 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to put it on the what I consider the underside on each long short end, so that when I attach it here before I put my other cover piece on, it'll stay where I put it. Hopefully, that's the goal. Okay, let me get my little here. Okay, so 2 inches from, oops, I shouldn't tell you that, but I already did, so there you have it. 2 inches from each end. Of the flap is where this is going to go. All right, so I have that little tiny piece of tape. So it goes on the inside of that 2-inch mark. And you need a D-ring here. Let me see. You need 2 D-rings. Not D-rings. Square rings. So don't forget that. Add your 2 square rings before you do anything with, just like that. Can you see that? Yeah. All right. Because that's how we're going to connect our backpack strap. Okay, beautiful. And she doesn't call for this, but even though I put that double-sided tape there, I am just going to baste those in place just a tiny bit. Because when I put that cover piece on, I don't want these moving at all. So that's it. Just a little basting stitch. I don't think she has you do that. I didn't read that in the pattern, but I'm a baster. Okay. So that's what you should have. So these are actually going to come down when we go to put our back cover piece on. They're going to be just like that. So freaking cute. All right, where is that piece? Let's see. Here it is. Yeah, this got cut a little bit, so I'm just straightening it up. All right, so I'm going to mark my center here, and you can't cut this because this is all very visible. So I'm just going to put a little mark on the bottom and the top. So I think she has you mark, yeah, 1 inch. So move your square rings out of the way. And from the bottom of your flap, you want to measure up and mark that. Very explicit directions in the pattern. You guys really won't have any trouble doing this at all. All right. So your D-rings should still be out of the way, and just center this over that flap. It does not need to be perfect. And you know what? I'm going to put, I'm going to add some double-sided tape so it stays where I want it. On the top and the bottom. Just a little piece on the sides. I mean, you know, where would we be without double-sided tape? Okay. And this is 1/4 inch double-sided tape from Weft and Warp. And it does not seem to gum up my machine nearly as bad as some. So I don't know why that is. We'll have to ask Tammy someday why that would be. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to do the bottom. And then I'll do this little side piece. Now see, I'm not having any trouble with the paper today. Famous last words. All right, So I'm going to get rid of my leather marking marks. You leave those for very long and they are permanent. All right, so now we are going to just stitch around that top stitch of 1/8 inch all the way around. You could do 2 rows all the way around if you wanted to. I don't think I will, but we'll see. And I am going to pull these to the back. They're going over all your handle and your connecting straps, so just go slow if you need to over those pieces. Go slow on your curves. I forgot how cute this was. Okay, curves. Okay, I'm pulling those to the back. And I need my stiletto. I didn't get that one. Yep. This stiletto and the foam are, there we go, fighting each other just a little. Perfect. Okay, I left one of them really short. Let me do this. I'm going to do this separate. So do you have to tie them to, bring them to the back? No, but because my thread is highly contrasting, I decided to do it. Not necessary at all if you don't want to, just back stitch. I don't always do it. I do it sometimes. Depends. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Now, I'm considering, I was going to do another row of top stitching just on the top. I think I am going to. Just 1/8 of an inch from that other, just around, I don't think I'm going to go all the way around, just on the top. Yeah. Just adds a little strength to those handles. And I will pull those to the back as well. I didn't go all the way to the end. I'll show you here in a second what I did. You know, I hate to admit this to myself. This is the Text 70 thread, and I have typically used the Text 45. But I'm liking this Text 70. You know, you wouldn't think that it's a huge difference, but it is. It is. I'm surprised by I'm surprising myself is what I'm doing. But I have tons of the Text 45, so we won't be buying all new colors in the Text 70 anytime soon. All right. Beautiful. All right, so there you have that. I just think it adds a little more oomph to that top handle. Even though we are going to add a row of stitching here, and we are going to add rivets. At least I am. I don't know that she calls for rivets. Yeah, she does. Actually, I think she... she doesn't even call for stitching there. So I'm not going to do it either because it is really hard to get that to look good. So pull your D-ring, your square rings down and mark a spot for your rivets. And when you do these rivets, you just need to be careful that you're not going through this piece. So you only want to go through your flap and the rivets. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I pressed my, I think I already showed you this, my magnetic snaps on either side of my gusset. And then I put 2 rivets on the handle, just through the flap, not through this piece. So those are secured. Just be sure before you put the rivets on that you've moved your D-rings or square rings down so they are secure there. And then I've added my connectors for my back straps on the bottom. She gives you where to put those in the pattern. Pretty so easy. So you just put that there. And then I do it a little different than she says in the pattern. I go ahead, I make the strap just like a 1/2 inch longer, and then I pull it down and baste them in place. And then I put a rivet, because it's not going to be in the seam allowance. And so make sure you got your square rings or your D-rings, whatever you're using, on there as well. So now we're ready to connect our gusset to this piece and the other side. So make sure your centers are marked on both pieces. Get that.
Could you try?
Poor Siri, I don't know what her issue is. Let me get my other clips here. So clip that all the way around. And in the pattern, she has you sew this bottom on first. I think I did that the first time I made the bag, and I didn't think it was necessary, but you need to do what works for you. And then pull that side up to the top. And we'll have to see if we need to clip our gusset at all. Don't know if we will. Actually, I don't think we will. I love that when you don't have to clip anything to make it stretch. Yeah, this is perfect. It could be the materials I'm using. I'm using very lightweight materials. The vinyl is very thin and lightweight, and the canvas is as well. Perfect. All right, so bring that other side up. Making sure that your flap is out of the way. It should be out of the way because you left that, there's at least a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch on each side of that flap. And, you know, as always, use as many clips as you need to. This is just foam, Soft and Stable by Annie. Okay. Let's see what the seam allowance is. I believe it's just the same through the entire bag, but let's double check. Yeah, your seam allowances, you don't have huge seam allowances in this bag. And that's okay. All right, let's do it. I'll fast forward this. Well, I thought I was recording and I sewed both sides. So I apologize. I don't know what happened there. So you just sew all the way around and make sure when you're sewing this back side that your D-rings or where your square rings are out of the way. And then let's turn it out, right side out, and see what it looks like. There's a few little puckers, but that is absolutely okay. Let's see. There you have it. Isn't that cute? Oh my, that is adorable. All right, so the outside is done. So you can see the back there, and then your back square rings down here to attach the strap to. I did put rivets here and here. I think I said that already, but in case I didn't, I did add 2 rivets there. And you just want to make sure when you add these rivets that you're not disrupting your stitching. So on this second row of stitches, I didn't go all the way to the end for that very reason. Beautiful. All right, so what is next? Let's see. The lining and the zipper pocket is next. That is so cute. All right, let's do the zipper pocket next. So this zipper pocket is not unlike any other zipper pocket we've done with when you have a facing. Grab my... So let me make sure, yeah, that's perfect. I think I'm making my zipper pocket a little wider than she does. I like pretty good sized zipper pockets, especially because there's only one zipper pocket in this pattern. Now you could add more, certainly, or you could add slip pockets if you wanted to. But I am only doing the one zipper pocket for now. I'm just gonna burn the ends of my zipper. And then, I don't think I got, oh, I forgot to add my, I'll put those, in fact, I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna add my logo right up here above the zipper pocket. Or maybe I'll do it below. Yeah, I better do that right now. I forgot to put it on the front, which is okay, no big deal. So I'm going to add that right here. And then these are these woven labels. I might just put that right there. From that sewing blurbs. I think I'll just put that right there. That's cute. Give that a little pop of color. All right, so I'm gonna do that, and I'll speed that up because you don't necessarily need to see that. Okay, isn't that cute? That really turned out really kind of cute. It says, we're doing amazing. And it says that on both sides. All right, so this zipper pocket, I'm going to do it with double-sided tape today. So I just put a piece of double-sided tape there. My lining fabric is right side up, and my zipper is right side up. And then I put another piece of double-sided tape down here. And I'm gonna pull that up so it matches the sides. You could do your centers if you wanted to. I'll just be honest with you. I think it's easier to just to base these than to try and mess with the double-sided tape, but it worked out fine. Okay, and then I'm going to put another piece. I'm using a lot of tape today. Probably not a good idea, y'all. I think my needle is not gummy at this very moment in time. And this piece of tape is just to fold that down so that I can put it into the zipper overlay without it being difficult and popping up. We'll see how this works since this is waterproof canvas. That actually feels like it might be all right. Okay, let's do another piece on this end. And again, if you don't want to use double-sided tape here, just stitch it, base it in place. You could do both of these basting or iron it, one of the two. Okay. Beautiful. All right, now we will put this in our pocket overlay. All right, so one thing, keep in mind, I'm actually going to cut this. I'm gonna cut this in half because if I don't, it just creates more issues. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. So now when I put this in with the zipper pull on the left, yeah, your fabric for your zipper pocket is splayed open. And I put another 1/8 inch piece of double-sided tape there, and I'm just going to center this so that I have about the same amount above and below in my zipper overlay here. And then we will stitch around that inner circle. Oh my gosh, that paper is coming off the tape like a dream today. It's funny. All right, so let's stitch around that inside rectangle and make sure that your zipper pocket is splayed open. And I am going to pull these to the back, the threads to the back. Oh, my stiletto fell on the floor over there. That's all right. Okay. Sometimes you can pull it with your fingers and sometimes you cannot. That was a beautiful thing. Okay. Perfect. All right, now this pocket is not going to match down here, which is absolutely fine. This pocket will still be plenty big for like a cell phone or whatever you wanted to would choose to do with it. All right, I'm going to fold each end up just a little and clip it, because we are going to leave the bottom of this pocket open just so we can finish the bottom of the interior lining. And then we'll, let's close the sides here. So lining right side up and just fold that over, and we're going to close the sides. Clip off your extra zipper and do the exact same thing on this side. And I'm using my scissors that I only use for zippers. All right. So there you have it. There's your interior zipper pocket. The bottom is open, but the sides are closed. So now you could, if you wanted to, on this other, this ends up being the front of the bag on the inside. You could put some slip pockets here if you want to. I don't think I'm going to. But make sure all your centers are clipped. And then for the interior gusset, we are going to do the exact same thing that we did with the exterior gusset. And that is, I'm going to find my centers on the top here. It's sometimes easier to do it when you don't have it connected. Yeah. So here's my base piece. And I'm going to connect that here to that side gusset piece. Same on this side of my bottom. And I gotta check the seam allowance here. I think it's the same, but let me check it. Let's see, where's my, yeah, so the gusset is the same, but the interior lining, it won't be. So pay attention to that. We are going to do the same thing by splaying that seam open and top stitching, but I'll do it all in one piece. And this isn't a critical piece to do, really. I think it's nice. There's not a lot of space there. I'm doing it from the underside this time because it's hard to, this waterproof canvas, it's hard to splay open unless you can hold on to it. Okay. This will all be hidden in the seam, but all right, let's do this other side. Okay. Now, we do want to find the center of our gusset. We did the top centers here, but we want to find the bag centers on the bottom. Man, those scissors are sharp. All right, There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm throwing things left and right. All right, now let's start with our back, because this is where, actually let's start with our front. We are gonna leave this open on the bottom. A pretty good opening on the bottom, which we will close through our open zipper pocket. But let me see, I think she tells you to do that. No, I don't think she does. I always do it that way. It is so much easier to do it that way. All right, so here's the front lining piece. So I'm just gonna line that up with my center markings and clip that in place on the bottom, and then I will bring it all the way around to the top. And it'll be interesting to see if we have to clip our corners on the lining. We didn't have to on the outside, and it does not appear that we have to here. It's beautiful. Love it. Okay, so this one you do so all the way around. It's the back piece that we will leave that marked spot open. So pay attention to the seam allowance in the pattern for this lining, because it is different than the rest of the bag. Which is, how she has it is not atypical of any other lining, because you want the lining to be a hair smaller than the exterior so it fits nicely. Beautiful. Okay, I will speed that up. So again, pay attention. We're going to go all the way around this one, and then when we put that front or the back piece on, I didn't mark this one, did I? Oh, I marked this piece. Yeah, we're going to leave it open from here to here. All right, I'll speed this up. Okay, she does have you leave an opening in the lining, which, you know, just makes complete sense. All right, so now we are going to insert the exterior into the interior. Right sides together. Flip your flap towards the back. And your zipper pocket should be in the back as well. Now we're just going to start by matching all of our centers in the, I'm just going to start in the front. I would probably use tons of clips here. And then unsnap your sides and clip those centers and match your seams. and push your flap out of the way. You may have to bend it because you certainly don't want that in your seam. Okay, so do that all the way around, and then pay attention to the seam allowance that she has in the pattern. And then top stitch, oh man, all the way around that top. And then turn it right side out through the bottom hole that we left here. And I'll speed that up. Okay, that was really surprisingly easy to turn. I was actually surprised. So there you have it. And now all I'm going to do is clip around the top, and then we will top stitch all the way around, and then we will close the lining where we turned it through and the zipper pocket. Then we'll have to do the straps because I left those to the end. And if you need to, compress your corners here. Let me grab mine. I use this, it's just a key fob press to press those. You could use a hammer as well. Oh man, that didn't press very good. Let me try that again. There we go, that's much better. And just keep your flap out of all of this. When you're top stitching. This is such a cute little backpack. You could make this in some girly fabric or some boy fabric. They would love this. Kids would love it. Or some Disney fabric if you're going to Disney. Which we love Disney, obviously, but it has become so expensive. My husband saw some report recently where it said it's the most expensive place on earth to go for vacation, Orlando. That's not encouraging for families, you know? All right, so stitch all the way around the top, and I'll speed that portion up. All right, so that went pretty well, really. I just used this piece to protect my vinyl, as I was sewing over those corners, because sometimes I have my walking foot on and it can just eat your vinyl if you're not careful. So I just used that to cover the vinyl, and it did pretty well. Just a scrap piece of vinyl. All right, so now we are going to pull that lining through our pocket. So let's pull our pocket out, our zipper pocket. And then let's pull the lining through that. And let's finish that lining. Just clip that in place. And remember, you need to use your larger seam allowance down here. And I'm going to show you something that I almost always do anymore. It makes such a difference. So you can see that where I came around the corner and then I went straight. I did a 90-degree there. I did that on both sides. Here you can see it probably better over here. And that really, when you're turning bags, it really helps not tear any of your stitching. So I do that almost every time now. All right, I'm just gonna finish this off. I did change my bobbin before I did that top stitching on the outside. I had probably had enough, but I didn't want to run out of bobbin thread while I was doing that. All right, so let's push that lining back down. You can trim that if you'd like. I don't think it's necessary myself. Perfect. And now let's close this zipper pocket's bottom. And then we will move on to the strap. And since I'm using webbing, it won't take us too long. I've kind of gotten away from using vinyl or leather for straps, if it looks okay. And for something like this, the black webbing is fine, because straps use so much fabric that it just, I mean, when I do cork, I hate doing them in the cork because cork is so expensive. Now, some of this vinyl is not that expensive, but I don't know. I've kind of gotten away from it. And the webbing today is so nice. I don't know. It's a personal choice. Okay, let's close that zipper pocket. I'm gonna decrease my stitch length a little. I had it on 5 for the top stitching, but I just decreased it back to a 4 just to close up this zipper. Okay. Burn any extra little threads that you have anywhere that you can see them. And let's put that zipper pocket back down in the zipper. These are really nice materials. Would they be domestic friendly? Probably not this OtterTex waterproof canvas. But the vinyl and this would definitely be. domestic friendly, so if you could find a lighter weight waterproof canvas, it'd probably be absolutely fine. Beautiful. So there's the inside of the bag. I know it's really hard to tell. There you go. And our zipper pocket is finished. Okay. So really, this outside of the bag is done. Let me snap my sides. Oh, I guess we have the tassel to do as well. So there you have it. Oh my gosh. Isn't that just so cute? All right. Let me get my stuff together for the handle and the tassel, and I'll be right back. Actually, the tassel is right here. We could go ahead and do that while I've got you. So the tassel is actually very easy as well. What I do, where's my measuring, is on the back. So this top piece, measured that and draw that on the back. Actually, I'm just gonna draw it on the front. I'll wipe it off. So that's all the way across. And then this piece, yeah, is on this side. I used to be really intimidated by tassels, but they're not that hard. At least the way she does them, they're really not hard at all. So I am just going to use my pattern piece for this. Okay. Okay. Now, I don't worry about marking all these. They're a little less than 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, they're a little less than 1/4 of an inch, but you're not tied to that. So if you want to do, if you want to do something a little thicker, you can. Not a big deal. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my little mat here. And I'm going to do 1/4 inch. And I'm going to get my X-Acto knife. And just cut those one at a time. It's a little tedious, I'll be honest. And that's okay. That one ended up being a little wide, so I'm just going to cut it. They don't have to be the same either. I mean, do you? That 1/4 of an inch was a little too much. That's weird. I don't know why. There we go. And so you're just cutting from this line up here. And if it's easier for you to mark them and cut them with your scissors, then I would do that. I don't think that's any easier than this, personally. Now, what she has in that pattern piece is a little thinner than what I'm doing. So if you want to do that, I would. I forget what, I'll have to look at the other ones that I have still and see what I did. I think I did this exact same thing. Now this is where I always get confused. Yeah. So this little piece down here, we're gonna just cut that off. We don't need that. We don't need that. That's just an extra little piece. Okay. So you see that? I mean, that really looks pretty good. I kind of goofed right there, but that's all right. All right, so then we need to just cut this. We're not cutting the top at all, but this piece we do need to cut. Okay, let me put the lid back on this before I slice myself. I don't know if anybody, are you guys familiar with Pioneer Woman? I love her mugs, so that's what this is. Okay, so there you have that. Now, I always have to look at the directions for this because I never get it right. Okay, I got it. I must have cut mine backwards or something. Not a big deal. All right, so you put your ring with it. This is the back side, unless you cut yours the correct way. I must have cut mine wrong. It's okay. So with the fringe backside up, then the ring is there. I'm going to fold this down, and I'm just going to hold that in place, and then I'm going to pull this down and fold it down like this. You have plenty of room to do this. Then, so that's what you should have. Now we're just going to fold this around and around. Yeah. Make sure, and if you don't, sometimes I haven't ended up in the back, so that's the tassel. That's how it looks. And we'll put a rivet right here. I'll clip it and hold it, but I'm going to do that again because it's very confusing, honestly. Okay. So if you did it, you know, with the right side of this, because I think I did it backwards. I'm putting this piece here up through the ring, and I'm bringing it back down to the top. And then I'm folding it back on itself and flipping all my fringe down and holding it. So that's what I have right now. There's my ring, there's my little flap. And now I'm just going to start folding that top of the fringe around my, and you want it to be as neat as possible. So make sure you're covering that. Yeah. Beautiful. And I might have to punch some of that down because I don't want that showing. Yeah. There we go. And then I'm just going to clip that until I get a rivet ready. So there you go. Let's see. Let me get a rivet ready to go. And let me unsnap that. And you could, if you wanted, use some double-sided tape here. I'm going to refold that because that top is showing through and I don't want it to. There we go. A second. There we go. Just make it as neat as you can. You can trim this up if necessary. And if it doesn't go all the way around, just fold it to the back. Just like that. I'm going to make my hole for my rivet right in the center. And I'm using 10mm rivets. I'm not sure you could do it with smaller, shorter rivets or not. There we go. All right, let me go press that before it comes loose. I'll be right back. Okay. So, I did one strap already, and it's adjustable. And I would encourage you to measure. I use the length she has in the pattern, which is absolutely, I think, for me, fine. But I'm 5'4", so I'm not very tall. So I think you need to measure it for yourself. All right, so take your adjustable. I already put that on there, and I just folded it down an inch or so and did 2 rows of stitching. That's all I did. So take that and put your put it through that bottom connector with the right side of your slider adjuster. Okay. Oh goodness, it's really hard to do this without seeing. It's not right. So, all right. So put it through like this, down through. You've got the right side of your slider adjuster. We're going to go up through that, through the other side. So this is what you should have so far. The right side of your slider adjuster. Make sure nothing's twisted. And then we're going to come back down through that D-ring or the square ring that you have up by your handle. And come down about the same amount, not critical that it's exact the same. I'm going to clip that, and then I'm going to do, again, 2 rows of stitches right there. Before I do that, I'm just going to check that both of my sliders are right side out, and they're perfect. All right, let's do this. So, get everything else out of the way. And I always, when I top stitch straps and stuff like this, I always try to do it from the right side. So that's 1 row. Okay, I can take my clip off now, and then I'll do another row as close to that square ring as I can get. Beautiful. All right, then just clip and burn any extra little hairs that you have. And then if you're using webbing, make sure you have burned the end of your webbing because that webbing will fray. But pretty bad. You'll notice it when you use it, obviously. I already burnt it, but I did it again. Yeah. All right, and that's it. Isn't that cute? So if you open it up, you've got your zipper pocket. You've got tons of room. And you can close that if you don't need as much room. These actually are pretty good sellers. You got your, I mean, you could be so creative with your, do something completely different with your fringe here if you wanted to. And then you have your handle to carry it, and you have your backpack handles that are adjustable. So very, very, very cute bag. I encourage you to try it. It's a Shambhala Nathalie. Let me show you the picture so you remember. The Shambhala Nathalie. Very cute pattern. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you guys hanging tight with me. I'll keep you updated on my sweet little Kindle, my little golden retriever. Thank you. Bye-bye.